Now, the search for clean energy in Futuris. Sunlight and water could be the raw materials for the energy of the future.
If you go back and you read some popular novels by Jules Verne, there was the vision for using water as a fuel was already there in the 19th century. We have come a long way since then.
Athanasios Konstantopoulos leads a European project called Hydrosol.
Its goal was to produce a method, develop a method for producing hydrogen from exclusively renewable resources such as the sun, solar energy and water.
Hydrogen has long been heralded as the clean energy carrier of the future.
Hydrogen has a very good possibility to help us with global warming. You can produce hydrogen with any energy source you're having. You can produce it from wood, you can produce it from biomass, you can produce it from oil, you can produce it from gas, from bio-oil, from biogas, from water with power.
From water with power, but where would that power come from? These days we use fossil fuels for almost all our energy needs. It's clear that an alternative has to be found. Hydrogen could be the answer, but for the moment, even much of the hydrogen we use comes from fossil fuels too. Athanasios Konstantopoulos is a specialist in catalytic converters for car engines. He's adapted that technology to produce hydrogen in a green way. He overcame some major technical challenges.
As you know, hydrogen is the most abundant species in the world. However, you don't find it free because it is highly reactive. If you want to produce hydrogen renewably, water must be your raw material, let's say, your starting material. But the water molecule is one of the most stable molecules. It's very difficult to split it. In our approach, we use the direct thermal content of the solar energy, and we can convert water vapor into hydrogen in a solar reactor, almost reaching efficiencies, as we estimate in full scale, on the order of 70%.
The Hydrosol device was developed in Greece with partners from Britain, Denmark and Germany. It's now being scaled up from laboratory level. In theory, it's remarkably simple, using just solar energy and water.
You can see here a little piece from that reactor. It is a ceramic body that has many channels that are providing a very large surface area. In these channels, there is a particular material, we call it nanomaterial, that it is coated, and through this reactor we have water vapor that it is flowing. We can increase the temperature on this reactor by concentrating solar radiation with a set of mirrors, and then exploiting this high temperature that we get from the solar energy, we can watch the water molecule being split and hydrogen flowing through. So in a way, this is the simplest setup that one can think to have a reactor with no moving parts, where water vapor flows from one side and then hydrogen exits from the other side. We think that renewable hydrogen in the future most likely will mean solar hydrogen coming from a thermochemical process like Hydrosol.
Once the gas has been isolated, it has a huge range of possibilities. Strict environmental laws that will demand zero-emission vehicles are driving investment from car makers.
What is even more exciting about hydrogen is that you can put it into very many devices. You can use hydrogen in internal combustion engines, as we do here. You can put hydrogen into use it with a fuel cell, using it as a battery on cameras, on PCs.
In fuel cells, hydrogen generates electricity through an electrochemical reaction. It can be used in other ways too. In this car, it's burnt in a modified internal combustion engine.
The difference is that this vehicle isn't just driven by petrol, but mainly hydrogen. That's why it's got 2 tanks. This car is easy to fill up like any other vehicle. Here you have a button for switching between the two, so you can change modes from hydrogen to petrol.
Damit kann man halt die Betriebsart wechseln von Wasserstoff auf Benzin.
Hydrogen goes through this pipe into the motor, and under this cover is the area where the hydrogen is sucked into the motor and burnt.
There are huge technical and logistical hurdles to overcome in delivering hydrogen to users. Berlin is at the forefront of research, with 2 hydrogen filling stations open to the public. They produce hydrogen on site, using water electrolysis, and distribute hydrogen made from fossil fuels.
Die Herausforderung ist die Erzeugung von Wasserstoff.
The biggest challenge is the production of hydrogen in a neutral environmental context so that no additional CO2 is produced.
Kein zusätzliches CO2 freigesetzt wird.
In a fuel cell, hydrogen goes in and water comes out. It seems very clean, but that isn't the whole story. To be truly emission-free, the hydrogen must come from renewable sources to begin with. Solar hydrogen production offers a solution.
The fuel cell technology is on a certain path, evolution path, and these fuel cells will have to have hydrogen in order to operate. If this hydrogen comes from a hydrosol-like process, this will be solar hydrogen, so it will be effectively a way of getting the solar energy and run the vehicle using hydrogen as a carrier of that energy.